Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're watching this. This is Lesson 23, the second part of our discussion of the Habsburg Empire. Sorry this is going up a little later than I'd intended. Still recovering from the surgery. You may have noticed my diction isn't quite where it should be, but I'm doing the best I can. And essentially, I recorded one video this morning and I needed to take a break and let the soreness go away and before doing another. But here we go. We're starting off. I'm going to walk through the slides. If you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to. I do confess to a certain fascination with flags, and one of the interesting things is the way the flags of Austria have changed over time as it became talking about the Habsburg family banners, and then the flag of Austria, the Austrian Empire, the flag of Austro-Hungarian Empire, as it went through various iterations. All right, moving on to the course administration. No big changes here, just want to remind you as you go to please submit your papers via Blackboard if there's a Blackboard assignment for them. So basically everything from spring break going forward. Losing pretty much 4 or 5 days last week really put me even further behind on grading than where I was. I apologize. I'm doing my best to catch up. I'm working through the papers and posting grades, and then I will be getting to the ones that are posted via Blackboard. But continue to submit them on time as best you can. If you are falling behind, I understand. This is not the semester that any of us signed up for. So please keep doing your best. I will accept papers late as needed for you to get caught up. Reminder that if you haven't done your instructor conference yet, we can do that via email, we can do that via phone, we can do that via video. I'm happy to do it however you're most comfortable with, and let's face it, those are probably the easiest points you're going to earn all semester. Besides, I miss you guys. And notice that we have the link up for the very short introductions. That will cover all the textbooks for this class, plus the entire series of something like 700 of them. There are some great references there, no doubt, for your posters. All right, moving on. The next slide, I wanted to let you know that we are offering a summer online course, Upper Division. That's something we haven't done in a while, but we got a little extra funding, so we're giving it a shot. I am kind of jumping the gun by showing you this poster because it has not been approved as a Chicano Studies cross list yet. I have hopes it will be, but it will be offered as a History 491. It is up. You can register for it right now. It's a 3-credit course taught by Professor Stephen about the Arkansas Valley in Colorado, specifically dealing with agriculture and labor. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask me, or you can communicate directly with Professor Stephen, and he'll be able to tell you even more about the class than I will. Right now, obviously, the economy is confusing, to say the least. We don't know where we're going to be in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year. But it's worth noting that hiring is still going on. And this is interesting. Even though the Tenement Museum is currently closed, you can't visit it in New York, they're still hiring a president. Now, this is a senior position. You would not expect to be getting this job right out of college, but it's something to aspire to down the road. So if you're interested in this sort of thing in your future, you might want to pull up this job ad in particular and look at the skills that they want you to have acquired along the way and the experiences. So that might be a useful thing to do as you look forward. Right, moving on to the writing tip. Yeah. I find most often with undergraduates, ambiguity emerges in writing through a lack of confidence, i.e. the student is pretty sure of something, but they don't want to get in trouble for being wrong, so they start to throw out lots of passive voice, throw out an "in my opinion," hey, can't be wrong, it's just my opinion, or those sorts of things. And you want to avoid that. You're expert enough on your subject by now, on the things that you're doing your posters for, and the things you're writing about for your short papers. You're enough of an expert to make a definite opinion, to offer up a definite conclusion. Now, if you do reach a point in your writing where the sources are not there, where the evidence is contradictory and you do not feel that you can offer up a definite opinion, be definite about it. I.e., if you reach a point in your research where you say, I definitely, I absolutely, I firmly cannot be sure about this, that's okay. So when you reach that point, if you reach that point, use phrasing that conveys what level of confidence you can give your conclusion. For example, you can say something is possible. If something's possible, it means it hasn't been ruled out by the evidence, but nevertheless, the evidence is perhaps against it. Nevertheless, you acknowledge that that potential exists. Probable means that the bulk of the evidence is on the side of your conclusion, but you acknowledge that it's not enough, there's not enough evidence to be entirely definite. And then maybe likely is probably as strong as you want to get before you get to definite. When you say something is likely, you're really saying that most likely, in the essay you just used the word to define it, but what you're saying is that this is the most probable outcome based on the evidence. This is a very close to definite decision. So, if you do find yourself in this realm of ambiguity where the evidence doesn't entirely support you, that's okay. Just make sure you're doing it out of a definite recognition of what the evidence does and does not support, as opposed to simply not being confident. You're experts at this point. Go ahead and act like it. All right. Next up will be questions, and I look forward to responding to them from last Thursday. Now that I'm kind of back on my feet, I'll be responding to your questions about the Habsburg Empire on the discussion board, and I look forward to seeing what you will be putting on the discussion board in response to this lesson. I'm indulging my love of the Austro-Hungarian Navy again, but this illustrates the point that I made last time when talking about how the dual monarchy, the transition from the Austrian Empire to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, affected things like government spending, in which case the SMS St. Istvan was much more expensive than any of the other ships in the same class because it was built at Fiume, which was at that point part of the Hungarian kingdom. And in the distribution of government funds, when they decided they were going to build 4 of these battleships, the Hungarian government said, now wait a minute, at least one of them has to be built in Hungary. We need our share of that particular government contract. All right, the next slide, the Habsburg connections. Again, just reminding you that we're sort of out of our little chronology here because we're going all the way back to the Middle Ages when we look at the Habsburgs and all the way to the end of World War I. So just keep in mind as you think about the Habsburg Empire and as you discuss the Habsburg Empire in your small groups online, that it interconnects with a lot of the other things we're talking about. And it also looks forward to what we're going to be talking about starting on Thursday, Nazi Germany, and then the final topic in the course, the European Union. All right. To try to clarify what I'm looking for with the next 4 slides with the discussion, each slide, you'll notice, has a series of links on it, and I think I've improved the way I'm presenting the links since last time, and a set of names. So for the first slide, Government and Life, I'm asking Muhammad, Natasha, Aiden, Caleb, Jackson, and Lucas to get together on the discussion board. You'll notice on the discussion board, I will be, as soon as I get this video finished up, I will be posting these 4 categories for you to open a discussion. I want you to discuss, just like we were in class, these primary sources and what we can draw out of them. And then I want you to collectively create a PowerPoint slide. Once in this case, the 6 of you have agreed on the PowerPoint slide and what you think it tells us, or what you think these documents tell us that you've wrapped up in a PowerPoint slide, go ahead and send that to me. I will incorporate it into the slides for this lesson, and then I will repost the PowerPoint lesson so everybody has access to it. So the goal is essentially to do just what we did in the classroom, for you to have a discussion about primary sources amongst yourselves, and then to share your conclusions with the rest of the class. We're just doing it in a somewhat different format. So Government and Life goes to Muhammad, Natasha, Aiden, Caleb, Jackson, and Lucas. Habsburg Diplomacy goes to Alexa, Tristan, Nate, Joshua, and Justine. Nationalism and Compromise to Derek, Marissa, Ryan, Adrian, and Rose. And then finally, the Habsburg Road to World War I to Gabby, Kayla, Conrad, Maya, and Alexander. I hope that's all clear. If it's not, please let me know. Okay, I then have a collection of maps that you might find helpful or usable. Our conclusions, of course, will come when I finally when I get the slides from you, the PowerPoint slides about those 4 topics, and I'm able to incorporate them into the overall slideshow, which I will then repost to Blackboard. Wrapping things up with texts you might consult if you're interested in this. Peter Judson's Habsburg Empire New History is the best new look at the Habsburgs. And as I've said a couple of times, the interest in the Habsburg Empire has sort of revived as of late as various folks start looking at ways of integrating Europe, and maybe that nation states are not the only way to do things. And some people are looking at sort of an idealized version of the Habsburg Empire as perhaps a model for the European Union or for further integration of Europe. At any rate, Judson's, I don't know if he's a Judson or a Judson. Anyway, it's a very good book and well worth your time. Yes, the Austro-Hungarian Navy, Milan Vigo's Austro-Hungarian Naval Policy, 1904 to 1914. This isn't a really strictly military history. This is more of a policy history. And again, it delves deeply into that, what effect the division of the empire into the Austrian Empire and the Hungarian Kingdom and their union through the figure of the emperor and king had on this particular bureaucracy and how it carried out its role and mission within the dual empire. And then finally, Peter Wilson's Heart of Europe, A History of the Holy Roman Empire. We know the Holy Roman Empire and the Habsburg Empire were not the same thing, not by a long shot, but at the same time, since the Habsburgs ruled the Holy Roman Empire for an extended period of time, it's there's enough overlap that a study of the Holy Roman Empire is definitely going to help you understand the Habsburgs better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, I'm catching up on email, I'm catching up on grading, I'm catching up on lessons. Things are better than they were by a long shot. Not having cancer anymore is a good thing. So keep the questions coming, keep the discussion boards alive, and I look forward to working with you again on Thursday. Have a great day.